Morning, everybody. Kendall here. I just woke up and my head is just like itchy. I'm like, maybe I need to wash my hair this morning. I don't know. I'm off to go. I'm gonna do my hair while talking to you guys. No, I'm off to go to the lake later today. I just got to get the hell out of Dodge, you could say. It has been a week. It has been a 10 days, to tell you the truth. It's just been absolutely crazy busy. Just so many beautiful clients, so turned on, so motivated. It's lovely to see. I cannot preach enough about the amazing people in my life and the people that I've had the privilege of working with over this whole COVID, all the different, troubles that our world is in. And here I have just this group of turned on, dynamic, beautiful souls that are just getting in there and doing the shit that needs to be done, doing their work. And that is just a beautiful thing. It's lovely to watch people that want to grow, that want to expand, that want to change their thinking, want to take responsibility for their lives instead of pushing off all the stuff, playing the blame game that a lot of our world likes to play. A lot of our world is definitely addicted to drama and fear and not taking responsibility for their own shit. And, when you have a group of people around you like I am blessed with, it is definitely just awesome to see people that are out there and just doing it and hitting, home runs in their lives, which is just glorious. So enough of that with that, right? This morning I was sitting here and I was just kind of thinking, I'm scrolling through Facebook and asking God, what's the message of today? What's the message of today? And I just kept having pop up in the back of my mind, the statement of looking for love in all the wrong places. And I guess it's kind of relationship week for me. I know a lot of the times I do a lot of, law of attraction stuff. I do a lot of, talking about money and abundance and manifesting and your worthiness and all that kind of stuff. And it all kind of seeps over into our love life as well. Because when we don't have that worthiness for self, all subject areas of our life are just kind of right? They're just kind of because we're not worthying who we are. We're not worthying our full potential. We're not worthying our truth. So we end up saying yes when we mean no. We say no when we actually are yes, because there's these things called shame and guilt. And oh my God, I can't speak my truth here because somebody's going to yell at me for that. And I can't speak my truth there because I'm going to hurt their feelings if I say that. And blah, 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 blah. And we get so caught up in all this other stuff of trying to people please everybody else in our world that we forget about the main person in our life, which is take care of ourselves. And I was just reading some posts, and I'm not going to make this about, all the racist stuff that's going on. That's neither here nor there for this conscious coffee. But I'm going to say that I was reading some posts from some different Black leaders of friends of mine and everything that I follow, and one of the overlying statements that I have seen, I yes, absolutely fucking true. This is exactly what everybody needs to do, no matter what your skin color is educate yourself, is definitely take care of you in this situation. So change your thinking, change your feelings, get caught up on the facts, get caught up on the reality of what is actually going on in our world, but then come back to self and say, how can I be the change that I want to see in this world? And, I wear that right here on my thumb right for the last probably 15 years. This ring has been on my finger. I rarely ever take it off. And it is Mahatma Gandhi's statement of be the change that you wish to see in the world. And that goes for all subjects that are going on. I mean, it can really shift the drama that we are seeing and the terror that we are seeing in our world if we all just took that one simple statement and decided to be accountable to self at that level and to actually be the change. Now, granted, there's still going to be some people out there that are going to be making some pretty shit ideas of what they want for change, right? And that's just the beautiful, diversity of humankind around the block. That's what keeps the world spinning, is that we're all so different. But here's the thing. To be the change that we want to see in the world, well, that also plays a role in our love life, right? That plays a role in our marriages, in the people that are dating, if we're looking for love, all that kind of stuff. And there's right now, I see so many people out there, and I've had different people. I've done probably close to, a dozen consults over the last few weeks. And all these people that are coming to me, some of them are, they're a fuck no to coaching because they're not ready to level up their game. They're not ready to step in. They're not ready to say fuck yes to themselves and just do the work and really truly commit. And they might say, oh, Kendal, you're too expensive. I can't work with you. Well, the reality is that if we really want something, we're going to figure out a way to get it, right? If we really believe that we can do it, if we're really ready to step in, then we're going to figure out a way to do it. But what is going on is that I hit them with the fucking truth. And I'm just like, here's what you actually need to do. This is what boom, 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 boom. And they're like, like that. And the last thing that people want to hear is that they're looking for love in all the wrong places. And that seems to definitely be one of those underlying, threads of the last few weeks in conversation that's been coming up between myself and others. And I've been kind of bounce around all over the place. So what is looking for love in all the wrong places? Well, I'm just going to say it right out there because this is like one of those things that's a lot of you gentlemen are definitely looking for love in all the wrong places. And then your expectations are all messed up because of it. So I've seen a lot of guys come through lately who are telling me that, well, my life is really busy. I got the job, I got the house, I got the car, I want the girl, but I'm really not like, I'm not physically fit enough. I'm not this enough. I'm not that enough. So I'm doing this whole, sugar daddy thing. I'm doing the sugar daddy thing and I'm getting these beautiful women to come and spend time with me. But I just don't seem to have the connection with them that I really want. I want relationship. I want to feel connection. I want to feel love. I want them to put me first. I want them to, be, oh man, I really want to go see, this person. And the women are just going like, no, sorry. I've got another John over here to go see. And what we need to really, this is like, here's your baseball bat. If you are out there and you're sugar daddying it up, if you're doing the sugar baby thing, realize that this is nothing more than legalized prostitution. Okay. And I'm totally game for prostitution. It's one of the oldest things, that has been around. Everybody, it's been there since mankind has been on the planet, right? Us humans and sex and prostitution. Commerce has been out there forever, okay, in multiple capacities. And in today's society, we have sugar daddies and sugar babies and sugar mamas and sugar babies, and cubs and lionesses and all this kind of stuff, where people who feel that they are not worthy of love, that they feel that they cannot get love in certain ways, decide to pay for it, okay? So they're paying for it in one capacity or another. Maybe they're buying the girl some really cool high heels and a purse, taking her on a trip, taking her out, taking her on, a pretty woman shopping spree, or they're throwing money into her bank account, helping her pay for college, paying off her medical debt, her car, her whatever, or just every single time they see her giving, a few $100 up to thousands of dollars. And then they wonder, why is this so transactional? Why is this relationship so transactional? Why isn't she more into me? And yes, I'm leaning more on the men here. This does happen with women looking towards, men as well. But let's just be honest and real about it, that a lot of guys out there have the sugar daddy thing going on. It makes them feel powerful. It makes them feel strong in certain ways. But when it comes right down to it, it is emptying them to the soul level, because what they're wanting is connection. What they're wanting is love. And what they're getting is transaction. And then this awesome thing called jealousy pops up. And I've heard this happen a few times where the guy is spending all this money on the girl, and yeah, she gives him a blowjob, she gives him some sex, she gives him some time, she gives him this, she gives him that. And then she's off and running and going to her other sugar daddies, because here's the reality. No sugar baby has just one sugar daddy, okay? Every sugar baby has at least 2 or 3 running at all times, if not more. So if you're in there and you think that you're in a monogamous relationship with your sugar baby, well, you're fucking stupid, okay? So that's just the way it is. You need to really realize that it is a transaction to that person. They are there for the money, for the materialistic items. They're there for that service that they're getting from you, which is your cash flow, okay, in some means or manners. And anything else, they're going to fake it. They're going to give you the best O face. They're going to, like flaunt themselves on the bed. They're going to get dressed sexy. They're going to blow you in your car. They're going to do all that stuff. But if you're actually looking for love, if you're actually looking for connection, if you're actually looking for commitment or a monogamous relationship, if that's what you're wanting, or something that's real, then let's not go down the sugar baby path, okay? Because it's just not real. It's just really, really not real. And then I see guys that get jealous over it, and they're just like, oh my God, she's just like, I had a consult with a gentleman and he's a sugar daddy, and he was telling me all about this kind of stuff. And he's married. He's a married sugar daddy. His wife they're not, they're roommates, basically, long marriage. They have kids. He's working long hours. He's exhausted. He's not in the best health conditions, not the most fit person on the planet, not the best looking person on the planet. His wife wants really nothing to do with him. They've had their shit in the past and it needs to be remedied, but it never will get remedied. And yeah, if I'm hitting you over the head, oh well, here you go. And all this kind of stuff. And then he says, I was like, so what are you doing for you? And he's like, oh, well, I joined the sugar daddy site and I've got a couple sugar babies going. And this one, I really, really like her. And she's so amazing and she's so awesome and she's so pretty and she's just got the best figure and she's just so that. And oh my God, she does all this stuff. It's just like, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. He's like, but the only thing is, like, I text her in the morning, good morning, beautiful. And she doesn't respond till like 2:00 in the afternoon. And then she's like, hey, how you doing, daddy? Like that kind of thing. And then she goes off and she sets him up for another date. And he's going, I want her to connect back first thing in the morning. I want her to tell me about things in her life. I want her to reach out to me and, and be like, hey, do you want to get together? Do you want to see a movie? Do you want to blah, 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 blah? And she's just like, whatever. I'm not going to go there, right? Because she's not into him like that. She's into his money. She's into what he's doing for her, right? She's into the transaction and what that provides her life. But she's not into him. And let's get real. From what I've learned from men over the course of the last 44 years of my life, and the last 25 to almost 30 years of dating and being sexually active, what I can tell you is that men like to feel worthiness. Men like to feel like they are really the man. Men like to feel like it's more than just that there's not a transaction. They actually want, the good guy actually wants the woman that he's with to truly be pleasure, to truly be into him. He wants to feel desired, right? So he wants to feel desired, and what he's getting is that his money is desired, his is desired, his resources are desired, but he's not desired, and that is that transactional love. Okay, so that's the sugar baby love. Well, that's obviously looking for love in all the wrong places. So if you are guilty of this, gentleman out there, and you are looking at this and you think that by consistently going to these sugar babies that you're going to somewhere along the line get something that that you're not getting anywhere else, you need to check yourself, because it's going to remain transactional occasionally. Now, many years ago, I had a client, and such a sweetheart of a man. And he was married, and his sex life sucked and all this kind of stuff. So he started to go down the prostitution thing. Sugar babies wasn't really a big thing back then. And he met a woman in another state, and he started to go and visit her a couple times a month, and she was a prostitute and, an escort, whatever the heck you want to say. And so he started to visit her, and he would spend hours and hours with her, and they actually built up a connection. They really resonated with each other. They were in total alignment. They really enjoyed each other. And then she started to have sex with him for free. So she was like, no, I don't want you to be my client anymore. Like, I'm really enjoying you. So she fires him as her client, and she just starts giving, right? So she's like actually into it. And long story short, he ended up divorcing his wife for his prostitute. She ended up quitting the business that she was in, no longer a sex worker, and they got together, and as last time I checked, they were pretty freaking happy, okay? But that is an oddity. That is something that does not happen very often. And if you are the 40, 50, 60-year-old guy, which is what a lot of sugar daddies are, is like that 45 mark up to 65 mark, that 20-year expansion, and you're looking at these girls these girls in their early 20s, okay, but it says a lot of sugar babies are in their early 20s, okay? They just freaking graduated high school. They don't really know what's going on with their body, with their world, with their anything, but they know that you love their body. They know that you love their big eyelashes and their pretty long hair and their perky boobs and all their perfect little figure stuff and everything, and you love how they move, and you love their soft skin, and you love all of that, and that you love teaching them things. So they go, okay, he's going to teach me stuff, he's going to do that. Not that they really even care about the teaching, but they're totally willing to take that lesson because, hey, it's going to, you're going to get them that $1,500 purse. You're going to get them those $2,000 shoes. You're going to pay for their freaking, college. I know a man, he pays a girl, he's in his 70s, and he was dating a young woman who was like 22, 23 years old, and she was studying to be a doctor, and he felt like he was doing her this big time service by fucking her and paying her for it, because he was helping her. He was literally putting money towards her college and helping her go through college, and in his eyes, he was really gifting to her, and he was enjoying it, and he was all about that, and it was absolutely amazing to him, and he enjoyed how she, performed in bed for him, and the conversations and the intimacies that she would share with him about her youth and about, the stuff that she was going through in college and her life and her challenges and trying to figure out how to adult. Okay, right there, like, let's just put a big red flag up. They're trying to figure out how to adult, okay? Which means what? That they are maybe not adults, not fully. Frontal lobe, this thing right here that actually allows us to reason things, to know right and wrong, to figure out who we are, to have logical thinking. It's called our frontal lobe, okay? And as science is proving more and more, that frontal lobe actually isn't fully developed until after the age of 26, okay? After the age of 26. So if you're messing around with a girl that is 26 and younger, her frontal lobe, her logic center is not even developed yet. And she doesn't know how to fucking adult. She doesn't. She does not know how to adult. But man, your money is definitely amazing stuff. Like, thank you, Daddy, for that trip. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. Now, here's the thing. And I know I'm hitting the whole sugar baby, sugar daddy thing, but I want you to realize that this plays into some marriages as well. For all time, women have been guilty of marrying men because of their money, not because of love, but because of their money, for what that man can provide for her. And women have been very guilty of looking at men for just the provisions and not actually the connection. And in the long run, what ends up happening is a very disastrous, unhappy marriage, unhappy family life, and it does no good for any party involved, children included, because children see, they feel, they're witness to, in so many ways, if there is love in the relationship or not. So if we want to teach our children how to love, if we want to teach our children how to be happy, if we want to teach our children how to be responsible, how to relate authentically, then shouldn't we be doing it ourselves? I mean, shouldn't that be like one of our practices daily, to be pushing ourselves and taking responsibility for that in our own lives as the adults in their life, as their leaders? In my opinion, we should. But a lot of people don't do that. They just look at like, well, I want to have this kind of house, I want to have this kind of car, I want to have this kind of luxury, and I'm willing to put out my genitals and basically rate myself as much as I need to rate myself to get that accomplished. And I'm not going to worry about the mental, emotional, or physical damage that does to my body. I'm not going to worry about the mental and emotional damage that does to my family. And I sure as fuck don't really care what it's doing to the guy, because he's just here to, put the money in and make sure that this shit happens. Okay, so that does happen a lot in marriage. There's a lot of conversation around that a lot of married women are just prostitutes, and it's because they're giving the duty sex. It is transactional sex. It is not connected sex. It is not emotional sex. It is not there for any of that, but is just there for the transaction, because the woman is looking for the provisions, not for the love or the connection. And then she either shuts herself all the way down so that she doesn't experience, locks up herself in so many ways, and is an emotional roller coaster, or has actual physical ailments that start to take place, all this kind of stuff. And the guy's just like, I don't feel like I can connect. I feel empty. I don't feel desired. I don't feel worthy. I don't feel like really the man. Even though I'm doing this, I just feel like the ATM machine. I don't feel like a man in the relationship. I don't actually have that bonding there, right? That bonding that we're looking for. And a woman certainly doesn't feel bonded in that situation either, because she's not actually in love. She's not really trusting. She's not opening up. So she's not receiving any of that good juju from the relationship either. She is just raping herself by doing the duty, right? She's just doing the duty so that everything stays afloat, so that everything just keeps moving along. So marry the way it is, right? Well, that's looking for love in all the wrong places. And this is really about us ladies speaking our truth and being right with what we want in a man. And there's nothing wrong with wanting a guy that has certain levels of finance, that can take care of shit, that has responsibilities and takes care of his responsibilities. That's not just a big kid, right? I think every woman out there wants a guy that has a job and is financially secure and is not turbulent in that area. But what is more important than anything is right here, how we feel about that person, how we feel about our partner, that potential partner. And if we're looking at it as just like, show me your freaking bank account and how much your house is worth, and what can you do for me financially in the materialistic world, then that is not love. That is not looking at love at any level. It's not doing anything for us, okay? Either party. Short term, you may have like, woo, I got a trip, and woo, I have this debt paid off, and woo, whatever. But that, pretty woman feeling, it has to actually go into the heart. It has to go into the soul. It has to move past the finances, past the materialistic world, and it has to go into the emotional, mental, and spiritual realms as well. Otherwise, it is not love. It is just using another human being to create a lifestyle that you want, and you are also sacrificing, using yourself, and undervaluing yourself. In this case, if you're the woman, you are undervaluing yourself because you're just prostituting yourself out, okay? And that's plain and simple. It's going to do damage on you emotionally, mentally, and physically, okay? And guys, if you are allowing this to happen and you are out there and you are like, no, I need my woman to look like this, and I need my woman to be this age, and and you're going, well, I don't feel the desire coming from her, and you're in a transactional situation, stop fooling yourself. Just own it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Like I said, prostitution's one of the oldest professions in the world. Like, nothing wrong with it, right? It is what it is. I mean, as long as there's both two consenting adults, then that's groovy. That's great. You want to have transactional sex, but use it for what it is. It is transactional sex. There is no depth to it. There is no love to it. You're not going to find your forever here. And there is the oddities like the client I told you about. But you know what? Out of 15 years of being in relationship coaching and intimacy work with people, I have one freaking client. One. I've worked with thousands, okay? Thousands of people over the course of time, and I have one that actually found this other person that way, and they hooked up, and it was groovy and great, and I hope that they're still doing fantastic. Well, that's one out of thousands, okay? So your odds are really quite against you in that case. But if you're looking for that, then just get real. Use it for, like, hey, if you're wanting to, have the transaction, you don't mind putting the money out, that's great. Don't get jealous with the girl. Don't think that you own her by any means. Don't think that you have any commitment. Don't believe that she's being open and authentic with you. And sure as fuck, don't think that she's in love with you, because she's not. She's in love with your pocketbook, as long as it's providing, or until she just grows tired of you as a person, and she's like, I found this other one over here, this other bloke that's just completely like, hey, he rocks my boat a little bit better, I'm actually a little bit more into him, and then she'll drop you like a hot potato, okay? So if you're looking for love, what are we going to do now? We're going to actually date authentically. Let's call it conscious dating. Let's say let's take some worthiness into account. Who am I as a human being, male or female? Who am I as a human being? Where is my worth found? Do I love myself? Am I going to, speak my truth? Am I going to state what I'm actually looking for in a partner? Am I going to actually stand up and have some of those difficult conversations around some of the things that maybe I don't typically have conversations around, but man, it really matters to me, right? Those are the things that we need to look at. How open and honest can we be with ourselves so that we can be that kind of open and honest with another human being? And if we're really looking for love, if we're really looking for commitment and connection, then what we need to be doing is being authentic from the very first moments of connection with somebody, okay? That is really quite honest. Like, be as truthful as you can be up front. And ladies, that means you being as truthful as you can be up front too, okay? So don't go dipping around and trying to put on this image for the guy that you're going out on a date with. I mean, yeah, if you want to get dressed up, make yourself feel pretty, but make yourself feel pretty for yourself first, not just for him, okay? And if you end up in bed with him, sure as fuck don't fake it for him. Give him the real deal. Guide him. Communicate. Help lead the process. Be a co-leader in your sexing. Be a co-leader in your dating. Be a co-leader in your relationship so that there's that communication, and not everything's going to be easy and breezy and just like woo all the time. You're going to have some conversations, but that's what authenticity is about, is having those conversations, right? And speaking your truth. But that right there. That's valuing yourself. That's having worthiness in yourself, okay? And if we don't worthy ourselves, then what's going to happen? We end up in that transactional situation, okay, in one facet or another. And then we sit back and we go, I'm really sad. I'm really depressed. And we get locked in this nasty little loop of depression and anger and jealousy and bitterness and believing that we aren't worth a good relationship, that we aren't worth being loved, that we aren't worth the time, that we aren't worth this. And that just causes this momentum of lack of worthiness, and we get stuck in it. But you know what? This is how we get out of it. We get out of it by letting go of all of that and coming back to self. Coming back to self, because if you are not feeling desired, if you're not feeling worthy in a relationship, if you're feeling like it's transactional, if you have all this low-grade energy and emotion around something, so all those negative feelings and everything, that's low vibrational feelings, it's not connective, it's not synced up with your soul, it's not synced up with God, it's not synced up with truth at all, then if you're having that kind of stuff, you're out of fucking alignment, and the best way to get back into alignment is to drop that shit like a hot potato. So in other words, step away from those transactional relationships and start working on a relationship with yourself that's not transactional. Start working on a relationship with yourself that is based in truth, in love, and coming back to your worthiness and doing the deep dive work that you need to do to clear those blockages so that for once and for all, you can open yourself up to love and find it in all the right places instead of all the wrong places. So on that note, now that I see Ninja's on. Morning, Ninja. I don't know where you're at, Ninja, but I hope you had a good night, Ninja. If anybody's wondering, I'm talking to Addison. I love her. I hope she's all glowy this morning. Putting her on the spot there. But this, Addison and I have a beautiful workshop coming up in I don't remember when August 1st, I think. I think we decided August 1st yesterday. And it is all on cock-centeredness. And it is for you gentlemen out there, where we are going to be talking about exactly cock consciousness, as I like to call it. It is tapping into your masculine energy, into your primal energy, learning yourself as a man, being worthy as a man, stepping into your truth, and how that translates into relationship. So that is going to be a local workshop here in the DFW area. Who knows what we'll end up doing with it. We'll see how this kind of plays out. This is a new workshop that we have created, is coming out. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So that's August 1st. On August 8th, we have our female orgasm camp that is coming out. So local peeps, I just suggest local peeps, or if you are going to be in the Dallas Fort Worth area through July and August, make sure to at least you check my events page, because there is 4, maybe 5 classes that are going to be out. I just did this quantum integration workshop this last week, which had phenomenal reviews, beautiful testimonies coming out. Oh my God, it was absolutely, I love that workshop, so powerful, where it's about energetics and everything. So I'm going to reset a time for that probably at the end of August or early September. So that's going to be out there. But then I've also got the sexual magic workshop that is coming out for singles and couples. We've got O Camp, focus on female sexuality in August. We've got the centered, no, what is it called? Cock-centeredness coming out in August as well. And then we've got our oral intimacies class, which is for singles and couples, focused on oral intimacies for both sexes. And it's all about the connection and learning about that and coming into it. And guess what? That's coming out in July. So there's like 4 or 5 beautiful workshops. I'm sure that Addison has a whole bunch of stuff planned too. And you can see her stuff on my calendar as well. So if you just go to my events page, you're going to get all of that. And right now, yeah, it is local. We are very focused on increasing our local tribe, on really, just bringing back connection here in the Dallas Fort Worth area through the midst of all of the crazy and chaos that has been going on, and the disconnect. It's really an important time to kind of come back in small group format and maybe a little bit larger group format, and to really just develop relationships and see that we're not alone in this world, and that not everything has to be drama and trauma focused. So definitely check that out. But outside of that, if you're interested, let's work you through your shit. If you're looking for love in all the wrong places, if anything that I said in today's coffee talks, kind of made you go, oh shit, like, hey, I'm kind of guilty of that. That's exactly what I've been doing. That's exactly how I'm getting my sexual needs met, and I'm kind of feeling empty from it. I'm feeling very transactional. I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. Well, then reach out. Let's start to heal those wounds around your worthiness and get you into a place where you can actually learn to love yourself, where you can actually step into loving yourself and knowing your worthiness and calling in the right partner in the right space and from the right location, right? Because that is exactly what you deserve. You deserve to have love. You deserve to have connection. You deserve to have the relationship that you really want. But you've got to do the work on you in order to get it. Because remember, our relationships mirror who we are inside and the shit that we are going through inside. So if you're not happy with what's going on in your outside world or in your relationships, look no further than your own backyard, which is called your internal being, your heart, your mind, your emotions, your spirit. What is going on there? Because that is what you are seeing being portrayed outside of yourself. And on that note, remember, you are worthy. You are so freaking worthy of having the love that you want, of having the life that you want, the abundance that you want. And it's time for you to step up and say, fuck yes to yourself. Once and for all. And remember, as always, stop existing, start living. You can follow me at www.kendalwilliams.com. And I love you guys, and I will catch you tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee.